program News and Views on Salam Media. And of course, it is Women's Month. On Wednesday, we'll be celebrating a public holiday in honor of women here in South Africa, obviously. Let's not forget all the amazing women that shaped the future of South Africa. Amazing women like obviously Sophie de Bruyn, Rahima Musa, etc., etc. Too many to mention. But to talk about honoring women of fortitude, we are talking with the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation and, of course, the director of the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, and that is Neeshan Balton. A very good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Good morning and greetings to your viewers.
Nishan, you had a wonderful, well, as always, whenever there are these important days of commemoration, you guys are at the forefront and you make certain that the community is aware of all of this, lest we forget these amazing women and the amazing people that have shaped our lives going future. And hopefully, our future generations can reflect back and understand who these people were and why they need to remember them and try and live in their footsteps and make sure that we have such leaders in our future. So let's look at the honoring women of fortitude. You had an amazing event yesterday. Tell us about it.
No, thank you very much. A few years before his death, Ahmed Kathrada insisted that we be shown where many of the people that he had been involved in struggle with were buried so that we could continue remembrance work around them. And in particular, he took us to the gravesites of Helen Joseph and Lillian Ngoyi in Soweto, who share the same gravesite to symbolize their togetherness in struggle as well as in death. And thereafter, Rahima Musa and Ma Albertina Sisulu, amongst others. Um, and we've continued that tradition today with many young people primarily to introduce them to the women of the march, to get them to do ongoing history work to better understand it, and to draw the lessons from the struggles of that time and apply that which is relevant to 2023 and perhaps beyond.
I'm wondering, in terms of you had this amazing event yesterday. Are you planning anything for Wednesday, the public holiday, and for the rest of the month, being Women's Month?
So, what we've started in this month, our focus for the entire month would be on the what we call Justice for Babita. It's a campaign, it's an online petition campaign with change.org. What that campaign seeks to do is to highlight the role of whistleblowers and particularly women whistleblowers and the precarious nature of that kind of work. And secondly, we are calling on through this petition for the Department of Health and all the other relevant authorities to be more sincere in their actions in terms of justice for Babita specifically and for all whistleblowers. To date, I think we've got just over 10,000 signatures. And on the 23rd, which is her death anniversary, we hope to hand this petition over to the provincial government, to the legislature, and probably send it off to the president as well. So that's the one big focus that we've had. The second focus that we have for this month is highlighting the role that women played in the formation and the work of the United Democratic Front, which this year marks its 40th anniversary. And we want to ensure that the kind of work that women did in the UDF is also not forgotten. Lastly, through the work of our youth clubs, there is ongoing work around the issues that affect young women in all the various communities across Gauteng that we work in. So, and this work continues throughout the year, not necessarily in August only.
Two things I'd like you to expand on a little more. Your youth clubs. That is amazing because we do know the issue around high unemployment amongst our youth. So, what sort of work are you doing in that area? And then also, you spoke about honoring Babita Diukaran uh, with this, obviously, this that you're going to be getting as many signatures as you possibly can to submit to government. Hopefully, that is going to make a meaningful change and difference. I want to touch on whistleblowers as well. I understand that there was a piece of legislation that has either been passed or is in the process of being passed to protect give greater protection to whistleblowers and possibly even give them some sort of payment for whistleblowing on corruption, etc., which will make our country a cleaner and a more just country for all the citizens in the country. So, can you expand on those two issues, please, Nishan?
Well, let's deal with the last one first. There is a draft um, le- policy proposals and changes to legislation with regards to whistleblowers, um, and from the side of civil society, an organization called Whistleblower House is in fact leading all of the comments and analysis into that legislation. One of the elements, obviously, is the issue of financial reward and security for whistleblowers, because many of them, once they've blown the whistle, lose their jobs, become destitute, can't afford the legal fees and the psychosocial support. And in that regard, this draft piece of legislation seems to be moving in the right direction. But I think I always hold the view that the only security for whistleblowers is when we reduce the issue that requires people to blow the whistle in the first place. So when we eradicate corruption, then there would be no need for whistleblowers. Until that time,
Mm,
this will always be an issue that has inherent dangers in it. And therefore, we must always recognize the bravery and commitment of people who blow the whistle on corruption wherever they are. The second thing around the petition for Babita, it's a very specific, two specific demands that we're making. One is that all of those implicated in the report from the Special Investigations Unit must at least be suspended. There are 9 officials implicated, and they're all working and going to office every day as if nothing has gone wrong. Secondly, the more than 100 or so companies that were flagged for corruption by her is another area of concern. Those companies continue to trade. They are not even blacklisted, which would mean that at least they stop trading until all of the investigations prove otherwise. So those are two very specific things. I think ultimately what we would really want is that from today's reconvening of the trial at the court in Johannesburg, we hope that the 6 people who are currently facing trial there will begin to indicate who paid them to do this work, because we need to know who exactly is behind this assassination. There's lots of speculation that it is companies and entities that would have lost lucrative contracts had Babita succeeded. But we need to get to the bottom of this now. On with regards to our youth clubs, we run youth clubs in about 30 communities across Gauteng. Our objective is that to try to raise this to 100 by 2029, which would be the centenary year of Ahmed Kathrada's birth. These youth clubs essentially take up community issues where they are based. And amongst those issues have been issues of safety of young women, sanitary pads, sexual harassment and violence, bullying in schools, campaigning for facilities such as libraries and clinics, which don't only benefit to young women, but could benefit them substantially as well through the opening of such amenities. And then lastly is that these young people get trained in terms of leadership skills and public speaking and so forth, So at our program yesterday, you would have seen young people managing the program, speaking there, and sharing their views with members of the media where it was requested. So that's the kind of work that we're involved in, building a new generation of young people outside of party political structures who can continue the legacy work of somebody like Ahmed Kathrada.
Amazing indeed. Keep up the great work. Nice talking with you as always. Go well. And we'll catch up with you again sometime soon. Go
Thank
well.
you. Thanks for the opportunity.
It is exactly 9:26 news and views on Salam Media. Next, we are going to be talking with an amazing woman, an amazing young woman. I worked with her for a while. She is the co-director of Salam Foundation. She is Fatima Sukaria. She will join us in a minute or two.